Okay, بسم الله.
أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا اتخذ الفجر دولا والأمانة مغنما مغرما وتعلم لغير الدين وأطاع الرجل امرأته وأقرأ أمه وأدنى صديقه وتخشى أباه وظهرت مساجد وساد قبيلة وكان زعيم القوم أرذله وأكرم رجل مخافة شره وضرب الميتات والمعادة شربت الخمور ولعن آخر هذه الأمة فارتقبوا عند ذلك
فارتقبوا ارتقال يرتقل فارتقبوا.
عند ذلك وزلزلة وقذفا مسحا وقذفا تتابعوا كان نظام سره تتابع رواه
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That's a very interesting hadith. We're in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he mentions random things that will be signs of Qiyamah, and seems more like it will be from, as you understood, more from the alamat al-sughra that precedes the advent of the Mahdi. So let's look inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن ابي هريره قال رسول الله اذا اتخذ الفيء دولا. You say the word diwalan, what it means. You checked it now. When the booty will be taken as a personal property, you checked it now. I got your diwalan, check it there. Diwalan, when fay will be taken as his property, right? Wal amanatu maznaman. And when trust will be taken as male ghanimat. In other words, it will be like free for all. You know, when in battle, after the battle, then you get the ghanimat, everybody can take it. So now it became an expression for something which a person feels he can just take it because it's there. Like if you saw something there, oh, this is ghanimat for me. Like I just found it so I can take it. Whereas a trust is something that you're supposed to look after, right? But anyway, let's do the translation. Then we look at the explanation after that. Was zakatu maghraman? Zakat will be taken as a tax. What tu'allima li ghayri dini? It will be studied for besides the religion of deen and other reasons. وَأَطَاعَ الرَّجُلُ مَرْأَتَهُ. And a person will obey his wife. وَأَقَّ أُمَّهُ. And he will disobey his mother. وَأَدْنَى صَدِيقَهُ. He will bring close to him his friend. وَأَقْصَى أَبَاهُ. But he will make distant his father. وَظَهَرَتِ الْأَصْوَاتُ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ. And the voices will become loud in the masajid, right? وَسَادَ الْقَبِيلَةَ فَاسِقُهُمْ. And Sada means to rule. So then the open transgressor will rule the tribe. وَكَانَ زَعِيمُ الْقَوْمِ أَرْزَلَهُم. And the person in charge, you check Zaim, the person in charge of the people will be the most disgraced, despised. A person will be honored out of fear of his evil. وَظَهَرَتِ instruments, etc. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We just start collection for a connection for a small while there. So do we stop here? كنظام قطع like a necklace. You ever seen a necklace? You know when it breaks, how the beads fall in quick succession. So كنظام قطع سلكه, like its thread is broken. فتتابع, then the beads fall off in quick succession. رواه الترمذي, Imam Tirmidhi narrates this particular riwayat. Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, several things discussed here in this hadith that will be, we can say, from the minor signs of Qiyamah. Let's look at it. The first one was إِذَا اتُّخِذَ الْفَيْءُ دِوَلًا. So normally when you go in jihad, right, and then the booty that is gathered, right, then there's a certain procedure it must follow, like a certain amount for the foot soldiers, a certain amount for the cavalry, a certain amount for the ruler, etc. But when people will just, they won't follow that procedure, they won't respect it, right? That's the first sign. Wal amanatu maghnaman. So now, amanat is something which you are entrusted with. You're supposed to look after it. But when something came into your hands. So maghnaman is like how you say, like you can say a nice word, although technically speaking, ghanimat means when you go in battle and then the spoils of war, right? But it's a word that is synonymous for something which you consider like free for all. Like anybody can take what, like say, initially we used to look after this thing very nicely, but then it became free for all. Anybody wanted, they just took from it. Anybody wanted, they just took from it. So in other words, amanas becomes a maghnam. People just took what they want to. No, it wasn't really looked after. Then was zakatu maghraman. This is interesting. That zakat is supposed to be an ibadat. Like how you do in ibadat, like when you read your salat, you stand in front of Allah Ta'ala, you worship Allah Ta'ala. You do not consider it a punishment. You do not consider it a burden, so to say. So same thing here, that when people consider the zakat a burden, they do not respect, they do not enjoy it. They do not consider it as an ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Then وَتُعُلِّمَ لِغَيْرِ الدِّينِ, when people will pursue knowledge not for the right reasons. They will want to say to show people how much they know, or to earn the dunya, that type of thing. Then the next one, most of these things we discussed already, but now this is one I have to discuss here. When a man will obey his wife, and he will disobey his mother. So what does mean here? Does this mean now, for example, that a person must not pay any attention to his wife? Does he must just disregard his wife completely, and whatever his mother say? Because look, what is the hadith doing? It is criticizing, it is castigating a person that obeys his wife and not his mother. So does it mean now that you must only obey your mother? You mustn't obey your wife. You must be totally indifferent to her needs. You must be totally indifferent to her emotions. Whatever your mother say, you must just obey her, and you must totally disregard your wife. No, that's not what it means. Everything within reason, everything. Just a simple example to understand this now. If your mother is making an unreasonable demand, if your mother is making an unreasonable demand, so you must say, no, sorry, my mother comes first. The hadith said, your mother comes first. You mustn't listen to your wife. So maybe your mother wants you to be by her all the time. You can't even spend time by your wife. Every time she's call you, come here, do this, come fix this. In the meantime, she's looking excuses. She want to take you away from your wife. Many times it also happens. Sometimes it happens maybe if your father is not around, the father passed away. Now the mother and the son were very, very close. So now when the son gets married, the mother gets very jealous. Many stories like this, many, many stories. And it burns the mother to see her son now with another woman, because now she sees this woman as a challenge. She sees this woman as a challenge that now this person took my daughter. There's so many stories. There are it sounds, maybe you think it sounds funny, but the truth, there are so many stories. There are so many stories where, as I said, maybe like the son was the man in the house all the time, or maybe the father passed away. And the mother and son were very, very close. Now, the son got married. Now the son is spending time with his wife also. So the mother become very, very jealous. The woman, the natural quality, they're very ghayur. They're very possessive. What they call a right word in English, we say that possessive envy. So what is theirs, they don't want to see somebody else. What is theirs, they don't want to see somebody else benefiting from it. They want to see anybody else enjoying it. So intellectually, they know that this my son is supposed to be with his wife, but emotionally, they're attached. So it becomes very, very difficult for them to let go. So they want to keep their son with him all the time, whatever. So so it doesn't mean under that circumstances now that the son must totally neglect his wife and say, no, no, my mother comes first. You know, Sin Nabi said, وَأَطَاعَ الرَّجُلُ امْرَأَتَهُ وَأَخْطَأ أُمَّهُ. You know, sign of Qiyamah is a person, he must obey, that he does obey his wife and he doesn't obey the sign. No, it doesn't mean that. Islam is not indifferent to the rights of the wife. What are we saying here? Everything in moderation. Yes, if a person is being totally neglectful to his mother, he's not even fulfilling her basic rights on account of his wife. His wife say, and wallahi, there are instances like this. I'm telling you that you don't know. It's difficult for you to believe, but inshallah, when you qualify from here and you go and study, wallahi, you will see. Now it's difficult for you to believe. If I tell you this here, it's difficult for you to believe that a look here, you want to marry me, you have to break off with that family. You're not allowed to see your mother, you're not allowed to see your father. It's difficult for you to believe. But wallahi, I'm telling you, there are people like that. I've seen people like that. People have complained to me that when my son got married, then his wife says, look here, it's me or it's your family. Whatever reason, maybe because they're poor, maybe the families may be poor, sometimes maybe so the girl is from a rich family, for example, so we cannot be seen with those poor people, or maybe they're from a different you will not feel conscious with this, but in Joburg and Durban, those people, you get different classes of the Indian community. They have different classes. So some of them consider themselves higher to the other. So maybe if a boy from a, so to say, lower class got married to a girl from higher class, they'll marry you everything, but you have to, you have to leave that family. We can't be seen with that people. So you have to choose me or you have to choose them. I'm telling you, it seems difficult to believe that, but wallahi, it is a reality. It's a reality. So this is what we're speaking about. When anyone makes unreasonable demands, where is the mother? She makes unreasonable demands that you must be all the time with me and you can't spend time with your son. On the contrary, if a wife is reasonable, she says, look, we also a family, also wife must also give some time. We don't mind. You can spend time with your mother, you can spend money on her, whatever, but don't neglect us in the process. Also, you must give time with us, you must also spend time with us. That's fine. Right? So what I'm saying here is it doesn't mean this here doesn't mean that the son must give absolute loyalty and all his energy and all his resources to his mother and exclude his wife. Everything within reason. Right? Everything within reason. Yes, if the wife is being unreasonable, obviously she's put in the place. And even if the mother is being unreasonable, remember that incident of Ibrahim alayhi salam when he came and he visited his son Ismail alayhi salam and he said, "Ghayyir atabata babik." They changed your doormat. Your wife is very ungrateful. So now people want to use that. They say, if the father say you must divorce your wife, you must just divorce your wife. But it doesn't mean like that also. Yes, if there's valid reasons, if there's Sharia reasons, then but it doesn't mean. So what I'm saying here, the point I'm trying to make is the parents must not use this as a license to abuse. That Allah Ta'ala has given the parent a right also. That look, a son must respect the father, mother. Son must respect them. Son must be loyal to them, etc. But he can't use it against the son and use that card to try to harm and prejudice the wife also. Yes, if the son is being neglectful of his duty, he's not coming to visit at all, and he's got money and he's not spending on the parents and that type of thing. But I said, but it's your Islamic duty to at least, to financially fulfill or emotionally fulfill your parents, but you are totally neglectful. But as I'm saying, you cannot use it abuse to say, now, you see, you have to listen to your mother. Now the mother makes unreasonable demands on the son. But look here, you're not allowed to go there, you're not allowed to spend time there. You must be by me, I'm your mother. Don't you know Jannah is under my feet? You must by me all the time and to leave. Don't you see you listen to your wife, you not listen to me. It makes an unreasonable demand. A mother makes an unreasonable demand from the son and says, see, you listen to your wife, but you don't listen to me. This is a sign of Qiyamah. You are a sign of Qiyamah. You see, you don't know Jannah is under my feet. That's obviously wrong. You can't make unreasonable demands, right? That's referred to when, right? And look at the next one. Adna sadiqahu wa aqsa. Adna means we're living in an age where people they will be closer to their friends than their own family. So Adna Sadiqa will be close to his friend. You bring Adna Yudani, you bring close to friend. Waqsa Abahu and he be distant of him. he might distance his parents. So in other words, his father. So many times, when you are a young person, you are like, you people know when you between the age of 13, 14, 15, when you are a teenager, you're very, very conscious about your reputation amongst your friends. As you grow older, you don't worry about that. You don't worry what people think about you. You don't worry about what people will say about you. But at that age, as a young person, you're very, very conscious about like what your friends will say about you, what they will say. That is one of the main reasons why young people also fall into fitna, because if they're in the wrong company, then the pressure that they have from their peers or their contemporaries that you must do this, you must smoke this, you must eat this, you must behave in a certain manner, and if you don't behave in this particular manner, then you are not part of us. So what they call peer pressure to be part of the group, you do that. So as a young person, now sometimes maybe the father is old-fashioned, he dresses in an old-fashioned manner, you even shy to say, this is my father. Maybe a person, maybe the father's a traditional person, he got a beard, he's a kurta, whatever, or maybe the mother's in a hijab. You go to school, you go to a modern school, a different type of people, modern people. You shy to say, that is my father because he's so old fashioned, right? So, under no circumstances, so should a person be ashamed. لو أعدنا صديقه رأيت أقصى أباه. وظهرت الأصوات في المساجد when people are disrespectful to the masjid. There's a nice incident of Umar radiallahu ta'ala while he was in the masjid, and people were, in particular, they were in the masjid Nabawi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and people were raising their voices. He took out his durra and he gave أترفع صوتك في مسجد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So from that quite simple, the masjid needs a degree of respect, decorum. Then the next one was Sadr Qabila Tafasiquhum. I told you, we discussed this yesterday, that in Islam, we say that the most qualified person must be in a position. People must be appointed not based on their color, their lineage, or their gender, but on their expediency, on their ability, their capability. But as we go to Opal Sinners, if you look at now in America, this guy was elected. If you look at his record what crimes he got, he still got cases going against him. Even if you look at Israel, the principal Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu, he's got cases of corruption against him. So you see in America, and both this guy in America, USA, Donald Trump, he got cases of sexual predatory and all that type of thing. Imagine such a person is elected to a governmental position, the most powerful country in the world. That shows you when peaceful people, the leader is actually when people choose a leader, it's actually a reflection of their mindset. Which person will elect a person that's got such a colored or checkered history? That is, he's got corruption charges, tax evasion charges, sex is a sexual predator, all that type of thing. The fact that people can accept such a person as a leader speaks about their mindset, who they are ready to accept as a leader. That shows you they are all on the same wavelength. They are all on the same wavelength. They're all guilty of similar crimes, right? So when people become accepting of this type of behavior, when they become accepting of this type of culture, then that shows you that this is their mindset. And as per the hadith, as we go closer to Qiyamah, this type of mindset will pervade the society, right? وكان زعيم القوم, the great persons will be put into the positions of trust. So this is similar to what is there, right? In other words, people will not be put elected. They will be not put based on merit, but rather because of who they know, or like we say here, a reflection of the mindset of the people. وَأُكْرِمَ الرَّجُلُ مَخَافَةَ شَرِّهِ. Normally, a person has to be honored. Why does a person have to be honored? Because of his own honor, because of his own respect, because of his own dignity. That is why a person has to be respected. But here, the only reason you respect a person, because if we don't respect him, he's going to abuse us. If we don't respect him, he's going to harm us. Now, if you look at, it just came to my mind now, if you look at what is happening, today in Gaza, in Israel, if you look at it, the Western world, they know that this is not acceptable. How many resolution has been passed against what is happening? But can they do anything? They cannot do anything because they've all been captured. They've all been compromised. Like if you look in America, the American people, a lot of them, they're not happy. But we have the the Zionist lobby, the Israel lobby, there are people in big positions, and if the people, the rest of the government don't toe the line, then they will have to cut line. They have to leave from there. So people will do things not because they want to do it, because they fear they will be harmed. So many of these governments are captured by the Zionists. So they can't act on their own free will. They can't do their own thing. So when you fear somebody because of his fitna or that he will harm you, etc. So the next one then says then وظهرت القينات والمعازف, with singing people, singing ladies, and ma'azif also like a instrument, musical instruments, when these will become common. I don't even have to tell you. I don't explain this to you. If you just look around at you, just look around. In fact, this one, I don't have to explain to you. Musical instruments and singing ladies even reach the Hijaz. I just saw yesterday on one of the Palestinian chats, I saw they say there that in the chat they were saying that while the Muslims are being brutalized and they're being killing in Gaza, in Saudi Arabia, they got a famous lady singer there at the moment. In fact, they mentioned the name there, but don't mention the name. So the singing ladies is already on the stop on the boundary. It's already on the boundary of the Haramain Sharifain. They are in Hijaz already. They are in Hijaz already. So if that is not then a manifestation of the hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then what is it? What is it? Right? So violence is become rampant in non-Muslim countries like in America, in South Africa, in Brazil. But here it is reached the doorstep. It has reached the doorstep of the Haramain Sharifain. So never ever has this hadith been as apparent as what it is today. Unfortunately, we're seeing this. Unfortunate. Normally, Saudi Arabia was the home of orthodoxy, it was the home of austerity for thousands of years. All these things were kept away, music, alcohol. But we see today right on the doorstep of the Haramain Sharif, and these fahishat, fasiqat, these women that are right on the doorstep of the Haramain Sharif. And and then other musical instruments. Before when the cell phone came out, it had a ringtone. It sounded like music, but it wasn't music, right? Some ulama even gave the fatwa to say that's not music. But with the current ringtones, there's no doubt that it's music. There's no doubt that it's music because it's exactly like music. That's where the old phones, the Nokia 330, 610, before your time. It also had a ringtone, but it was not, some of us, it wasn't music, it was like music. But with the current ringtone, so these things you find in the masjid, you even find it in the Haramain Sharifain, right? So, والمعازف وشربت الخمور, when alcohol will be drunk. Throughout history, alcohol was drunk, but what it means it will become very, very common to the latter time. And obviously, we can see that, again, I told you, it is even reached the Haramain Sharifain, Muslim airlines. Muslim airlines, sorry, it doesn't reach the Haramain Sharifain, but you can say it has reached the doorstep of the Haramain Sharifain. Allah Ta'ala protect it, must never come into the Haramain Sharifain. Right? وَشُرِبَتِ الْخُمُورُ, there's one alim that he's actually from Durban. He lives in Medina. He's retired and he's settled there, right? He's retired and he's settled there. It's a true story. So one day his car got stolen. His car got stolen. This was in Medina Sharif. His car got stolen. And after 2, 3 days, they found the car in Medina. When they found the car, it was some youth that stole the car. There was a lot of empty bottles of alcohol in the car. And this was in Medina, right? So وَشُرِبَتِ الْخُمُورُ, and when alcohol will be drunk abundantly, in other words, will come common, right? وَلَعَنَ آخِرُ هَذْ أُمَّةِ أَوَّلَهَا, and when the latter of this ummah will curse the first. What does this refer to? This refer to who's the first of this ummah? Because see, وَلَعَنَ آخِرُ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ أَوَّلَهَا, when the latter people of the ummah will curse the first, these persons that refer to, that is the Sahaba Ikram. They are والسابقون الأولون من المهاجر والأنصار والذين اتبعوا بإحسان. So in other words, and who's famous for this? Who's famous for this? Huh? The Shia. They are the one that curse. I tell you, in history, there was also a scholar. His name was Maududi, Abul Ala al Maududi. Abul Ala al Maududi. He considered everybody fair game. But you see, he was a very sharp person. He was an intellectual. And initially, he was packaging Islam in a very nice way. So a lot of our own ulama, initially, they were impressed with him. Our own ulama, our own ulama, the Deobandi ulama, they were impressed with him, the way he was writing. He was like, he used to write in a very intellectual manner. That's why many of the intellectuals in Pakistan and those, they were impressed. Till today, you got the Jamaat-e-Islamiyah, it's a political party. So they were impressed with him. But then, as I say, but this man, he's criticizing the Anbiya alayhi salatu wa taslim. He's speaking against, he got a book called Al-Khilafatu al-Muluk. And in there, he speaks against the Anbiya alayhi salatu wa taslim. He speaks about the Sahaba Ikram. Then all of us say, this guy is not right here. It is not our way to speak against the Anbiya. It's not our way to speak against the Sahaba Ikram. They said no. Then that's when our ulama broke away from them. So I told you, we as the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, in particular the people of the Urban, we're very wary about speaking against the Anbiya. We're very wary about speaking against Sahaba Ikram. If anybody come with any that type of style, they want to speak, they want to make intellectual points. They want to make intellectual points at the expense of the Anbiya, making the Anbiya bad or making the Sahaba Ikram bad. We don't accept that. We outrightly reject it. We outright reject it. Last time we discussed about a few of those things. Anyway, then so when you see all these signs now, know that we are coming close. But as I said, these all refer more to the alamat al-sughra, right? فَارْتَقِبُ إِنَّ ذَلِكَ, then await رِيحًا حَمْرًا. Yeah, this word رِيحًا حَمْرًا refers to like devastating winds that will wreak destruction wherever it is, right? Then earthquakes, zalzala. Uh, in recent, we saw so many earthquakes that happened in recent last year, the previous year, we saw in Turkey. Then Hassan sinking the earth, where the earth will swallow people up. Maskhan, disfigurement, pelting, and then the hadith say that you saw a necklace like tasbih, when that thing is broken, how the bees falls off so quick in quick succession. So same thing here. Once these things start, then it will happen in quick succession. There will be no break, right? Anyway, read the next hadith.
فعلت أمتي خمسة عدت الصلاة لم يذكر معلما من غيره ولا مرفوض
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This hadith is very similar to the other one. قال علي قال رسول الله إذا فعلت أمتي 15 خصلة. Nabi Sallallahu said, when my ummah, in other words, the ummah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when they engage in 15 things, حل بها البلاء, then the test will come in quick succession, like how we said, فصلا مسخا وعد هذه الخصالة. So all this which is mentioned here previously was mentioned, but in this, Ali mentioned all the stuff that was mentioned here. See all this here. See nice here. This is a nice question to ask the exam. What he's saying, وعد هذه الخصالة. He mentioned all these things, but وَلَمْ يَذْكُرْ, but as Ali in his hadith, he didn't mention these things. You understood? So as Ali mentioned all this here, except for this. He never mentioned وَلَمْ يَذْكُرْ تُعَلِّمَ لِغَيْرِ الدِّينِ. He never mentioned this here in his hadith, that knowledge will be sought for besides dini purposes. When you will use the knowledge of deen for dunyawi aghraj. That means to get something of the dunya, to obtain something of the dunya, to get a job, or to get a position, or to get fame, or to people must honor you, whatever. Not that, right? And he never mentioned وَبَرَّ صَدِيقَهُ وَجَفَى أَبَاهُ. A person will be good, he will be kind to his friend. وَجَفَى أَبَاهُ. He never mentioned this here, right? This one here also, that he will, barra yabiru means to be good to your friend, and you will distance your father. But this is what he also said. وَشُرِبَ الْخَمْرُ, that alcohol will flow freely. It will be drunk freely. And I tell you, it has already reached the Arab lands. Some of the Muslim, so-called Muslim airlines also, they serve alcohol, right? If you go to Dubai, and those, how far is Dubai? Dubai is a different country to KSA, but actually it is part of the Jazeeratul Arab. It is part of the Jazeeratul Arab, part of the Arabian Peninsula. It's part of the historic. When you speak about the real tradition of Hijaz, it's part of that. And if you go there, you'll see the hotels, you'll see the Khamar, you'll see the singing ladies, you will see the immoral ladies that come from all over the world to ply their trade. What is this testimonialization of this hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, right? Right? Walubis al hariru, and then also silk. This is prohibited for men, but you see there to Qiyamah that people will now engage in all this. They will be indifferent to these type of prohibitions. Rawahu Tirmidhi, Imam Tirmidhi, and narrates the particular riwayat. Read the next hadith.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تنهى حتى يوم قال لم يبقى من الدنيا إلا يوما يطول الله ذلك اليوم حتى يبعث الله.
Okay, stop there. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعن عبد الله بن مسعود قال قال رسول الله لا تذهب الدنيا حتى يملك العرب رجل من أهل بيتي يعطي اسمه اسمي. Right now, Farati Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, the Rasul said that this dunya will not go, it will not finish up until حتى يملك العرب رجل, a person, right, من أهل بيتي, from the family of my household, يملك, he will be a ruler of the people. Who is me, and his name will coincide with my name. Now the next part is something interesting. Rawahu Tirmidhi, Imam Tirmidhi narrates the same riwayat. Wa Abu Dawud and Abu Dawud. Wa fi riwayat. Now in another riwayat, قال لو لم يبقى من الدنيا إلا يوم. If even if it does not remain from the dunya, even one day, لتول الله تعالى ذلك اليوم. Allah Ta'ala will lengthen that day. حتى يبعث الله فيه رجلا, until Allah Ta'ala will send in it رجلا من أمتي, a person from my ummah, أو من أهل بيتي, or from my أهل بيت, يعطي اسمه اسمي, that his name will coincide with my name, واسم أبيه, and the name of his father, name of my father, يملأ الأرض قسطا وعدلا, you will fill the land with قسط, equity and justice, كما ملئت الظلم وجورا, like how it was filled with oppression and tyranny. Right? So what does this mean? أنا ask you, لو لم يبقى من الدنيا إلا يوم لتوبل الله تعالى ذلك اليوم حتى يبعث الله فيه رجلا من أمتي. Even if only one day remain, or if it does not remain except one day, Allah Ta'ala will lengthen the day so that this person will come. What is that? What is Nabi saying in that part of the hadith? Think about it. Think about it. What is he saying? What is Nabi saying? You tell what he's saying. Ismail, what he's saying?
Even if Qiyamah is so close to reach an extent, this person will come back.
So what he's saying is it will definitely happen. It, like, you know what I'm saying? Look here, we're going to finish this kitab today. We're going to finish this kitab. Definitely, you're not leaving this door till we finish this kitab. Even if the time is, we're going to rush through this and we're going to finish it. Right? So I'm saying that, in other words, Nabi Sallam is emphasizing that it's going to happen. To such an extent, if the world is about to come to an end, the world is about to come to an end, and he hasn't appeared as yet, Allah Ta'ala will definitely make it happen, even if it means Allah Ta'ala has to prolong that day, make one long day in which he will come and he will do his thing he's required to do. It will happen. So like I say, you're going to finish your work today. Even if I lock the door and I keep you in here, you're not going to go out here until we don't finish this work. So that's what he's saying. So it's going to happen. We are going to make it happen either way, inshallah, with the permission of Allah Ta'ala. So same thing here. The Nabi is saying, look here, this is going to happen. Even if you think, yeah, things are happening, we are so close to Qiyamah, there's no time for the Mahdi. Even if Allah Ta'ala has to make one long, you have to extend the day so that it happens, but it is going to happen, right? Okay, so that's that part on the But anyway, the hadith is see, لا تذهب الدنيا, لا تذهب الدنيا, the dunya will not go. It means it will not come to the end. It will not perish. حتى يملك العرب. Until a person so Nabi Sallallahu is saying that look here, a person from my household, that is from my Ahlul Bayt, from my Itra, will be the ruler. He will rule over the Arabs, right? And then Nabi Sallallahu gives some details there that his name will be like my name, his father's name will be like my father's name, and his mother's name will be my mother's name, and he will fill the land with justice and equity. So no matter what it is going to happen, Qiyamah is not going to happen without this person coming. Okay, one, two short hadiths there. Maybe we can just do it, inshallah. Right. وعن أم سلمة قالت سمعت رسول الله يقول المهدي من إترتي. That the Mahdi is from my family من أولاد فاطمة, from the children of Fatima رضي الله عنها. رواه أبو داود. Abu Dawud narrates this particular riwayat. Right, so that's a bit more details that you will be at Sayyid, means from the family of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Next one.
أبي سعيد رضي الله تعالى قال قال صلى الله عليه وسلم المهدي يظل أكل الجبهة والعبد يملأ الأرض جمعة كما قرئت ظلما وجورا سبع سنين.
Right. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن أبي سعيد الخدري قال قال رسول الله المهدي مني. The Mahdi, the Savior, he will the guided one, he will be from amongst me, that was from my family. أجل الجبهة, he will have a bright forehead. أقنى الأنف, أقنى, a high nose, high bridge nose. يملأ يملأ الأرض قسطا وعدلا, he will fill the land with justice, equity. كما ملئت ظلما وجورا, like how prior to that it was filled with oppression, tyranny. يملك سبع سنين, and he will rule for a period of about 7 years. Okay, this last short one, then we'll switch over, inshallah. Right. وعنه also narrates the authority of Abi Sa'id al-Khudri. He in turn narrates from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam with regards to the story of the Mahdi. يجيء إليه رجل, a person will come فيقول يا مهدي أو مهدي أعطني, give me. قال فيحثي له في ثوبه, he will distribute, he will give for him. It is called مستطاع يحمل, that so much he won't be able to even carry it away. رواه الترمذي. Imam Tirmidhi narrates this particular riwayat. So yeah, we spoke about this earlier, that these will be times of prosperity. These will be times when there will be abundance of wealth. But it's an interesting point that came to my mind now, this very second. See, I told you before. See, the hadith speaks about يَمْلَأُ الْأَرْضُ قِسْطًا وَعَدْلًا. The land will be full of justice and equity. See, two salient features I've spoken about. This came to my mind just now through your barakat. See, Allah Ta'ala speaks about, Nabi Sallallahu speaks about justice, fairness, and then Nabi Sallallahu speaks about prosperity and abundance. So what does that show you? What does that show you? What does it tell you? Then when you got a fair ruler, you got a person that is just, is adil, and he's not oppressive, then Allah Ta'ala will give pleasant conditions. Allah Ta'ala, there will be barakah, there will be khair. But when a person is oppressive, he's like, for example, unduly taxing the people. Sometimes the kings, etc., they live lavish lifestyles, so they place undue taxes upon the people. They burden them their taxes, which they cannot bear. And this is one of the reasons why the Muslims were very successful in their conquest. When they came to the different lands, to the Roman lands, when they came to the Persian lands, and even if you must read interesting, you must read the story of the conquest of Andalusia, when the Muslims, how they conquered Spain. Ishbilia, where they had the kings that were there. They were oppressive and abusive to the people. They used to burden them with heavy tax, abuse them, etc. That's why when the Muslims came, the Muslims had a reputation of being just and of being fair. So most of the time, they just opened the gates for them. They were happy to receive them because of their reputation of justice. So this shows you, this clearly shows you, when there is justice, there's equity, there's fairness, there's no oppression, then what you see, يفيض الماء. What is يفيض المال? wealth flow freely. So when you got a ruler that is not oppressive, he's not only out to fill his own pockets or to live a lavish lifestyle, but he's just and fair, then there will be barakah and Allah Ta'ala will send the years of prosperity. Okay, let's stop there. We're going to switch over, inshallah.